On Monday, she posted a soccer practice photo. The jersey had the team name on it and the field was tagged. On Wednesday, she posted a birthday post. Her son turned 11, full name of the caption. On Friday, she posted a check-in at the family's favorite restaurant. And by Sunday, a stranger who follows her account knows her children's exact names, ages, weekly schedule, and where the family eats every single Friday night. I'm Daniel Rodriguez, and this is Visioneer IT Securities RepSec Wednesday. This is not just a hypothetical. This is a normal week of posting for most families in the United States. 80% of parents use their children's real names on social media, and 92% of children have an online identity before they turn 2. And nearly a quarter of all parents have their profiles fully public. And what these profiles reveal, unfortunately, when you line them up across a week or a month, is a detailed map of your family's life. And the people who are reading it are not always people with good intentions. Here's what a stranger can learn from a typical parent's account in only a single week. A first day of school photo gives them the school's name, the grade, sometimes the teacher's name on the classroom door. Birthday post gives the attacker the child's full name and exact date of birth. Activity photos, soccer, dance, gymnastics, that gives them the weekly schedule to your kid and the locations where your child will be at. Even just a vacation post posted in real time tells a stranger that the family is not home. And when you check in at the same restaurant or park more than once in the same location, you just confirmed a pattern. Guess what? None of this requires hacking and none of it requires a data breach. The information is being published voluntarily by parents, organized chronologically, and in most cases accessible to anyone with a follow request. And it's not just your account. Grandparents post, aunts post, uncles post, team coaches post group photos with a whole roster tag. One parent may have strict privacy settings, but if the other 3 family members have public accounts sharing the same child's photos and milestones, those settings don't matter. Now let's add the photo metadata. So unless you turn it off, every photo your phone takes stores the exact GPS location and timestamp in the file itself. So that data travels with the image when you upload it on whatever social media account you have. And some platforms strip it, but some don't. And most people have never checked this out. So the question is not whether your family's oversharing, because they probably are. It's really how many people you've never met have access to what you've shared in the past. This is not just a privacy issue, it's a physical safety issue for you and your family. If someone knows about your child and where they're going to be Tuesday at 4 o'clock every single week and knows what your child looks like, knows the child's first name, and knows you're not the one picking them up that day because you just posted about a work trip, that is a real world problem. Routines and locations together are the 2 things that make a child findable. Then there's digital kidnapping. So strangers download your child's photos that you posted and repost them as their own. And this is for different reasons, sometimes for social media clout, sometimes on forums you don't want your child's face appearing on. But once that image leaves your account, you have no control over where it goes and almost no way of tracking. There's also the long game. So every post you make about your child becomes part of a permanent digital footprint that they never consented to. So embarrassing moments, behavioral struggles, medical updates, that content will be searchable when they're old enough to apply for a job, a school, or a clearance, and you're building their public record before they can even spell their own name. Financial fraud is a big part of this too, because children are 51 times more likely to be identity theft victims than adults. And a lot of that starts with the information that was already public. But the consequences that keep parents up at night aren't credit cards. It's someone knowing too much about where their kids are and what they look like. So here's what you can do, and none of it requires you to stop posting entirely, because the message of this is not for you to delete all social media. First things first, open up your follower list and look at it, the actual names, and if you can't identify someone, remove them. Because 80% of parents have at least one social media connection with a person that they have never physically met, and that's a gap. Second, scroll back to the last 3 months of your posts and look for any combination of your child's full name, school, age, location in the same post or across a few posts, because that combination is what matters for strangers to put together a profile on you and your family. And delete or archive what you can. Third, turn off geotagging on your phone's camera. So on the iPhone, go to settings, privacy, location services, camera, and set it to never. On the Android, open up your camera app, go to settings, turn off location tags, and this stops your photos from carrying that GPS location in the metadata. Fourth, talk to your extended family. Grandparents and relatives are usually the most public sharers. Have a direct conversation about what they can post and who can see it. This is the most uncomfortable step, but it's one of the most important ones because everyone needs to be educated on the dangers of overposting or oversharing. Here's a bonus one. Fifth, if you want the extra layer, freeze your child's credit with all three bureaus. It's free, it takes about 15 minutes per bureau, and if your child is under 16, you'll submit documents by mail. A freeze means no one can open credit under their name until you lift it. You do not have to quit social media entirely to keep yourself and your family safe. Social media is a great tool that we use to stay connected because us as human beings are very social creatures with a lot of connections. But just use it responsibly. So when you go back to those posts and you're reviewing it, look at them the way that a stranger or an attacker might and see if it builds that profile that we were talking about. And if you see that you maybe overshared a little bit too much, fix it. And if this episode was useful, please like and subscribe to this video and share it with any other parent who posts. This was RepSec Wednesday with Daniel Rodriguez. Stay safe.